If there we go. If you have any questions, feel free to throw it into the chat. Okay. All right. So, welcome to the May-June 2025 monthly relationship building hour, sponsored by Connected Couples Counseling, PLLC, and hosted by me. My name is Dionne Miller. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist associate. All right. So let's talk about calming the storm. Uh, this is one of my absolute favorite topics in couples counseling because I know just how destructive the storm can be when couples are in conflict. So, in many ways, there are actually two storms in conflict. There is the storm that is created when we're in flooding. And there is the storm when the couple has reached the very end and they have to take a break. Otherwise, they are going to completely destruct. It is how we disengage where the second storm happens. When one partner is sitting there anxiously waiting for their partner to return, and the other partner is just sitting there struggling to process what has just happened. And sometimes we feel both of those at the same time. So today we're going to look at what is flooding, how does it happen, and how can we help? Before we get started, I'd like a quick little disclaimer. I want to take a moment to advise you that this workshop is strictly psychoeducational, meaning that it was designed to serve as a teaching and guidance for you and is not a replacement for couples therapy. If you wish to pursue counseling, please do not hesitate to reach out to our team at Connected Couples Counseling for more information. As a licensed therapist, my team and I are available for couples counseling for residents in Washington State. Alternatively, we are more than happy to help you locate a couples therapist who is trained in your area. And don't mind the bit about sleep, that is from a previous presentation. All right, objectives. Today, we're going to talk about who we are, Connected Couples Counseling. We're going to look at the anatomy of a fight. We're going to talk about flooding and calling for a timeout and look at how to calm the storm. All right, so quickly, I want to introduce our team. We are a small group practice that provides telehealth therapy for those living in Washington State. Rachel, pictured on the far left, is the owner of our practice. She specializes in rewiring attachment dynamics in couples. She is also available for relational coaching for those not wishing to go the traditional route. Megan in the middle is our clinical intern. She is very passionate about supporting couples and families and has a huge heart and a lot of lived experience for working with single parents and all of the excitement and challenges that being a single parent provides and co-parenting. And then me, I'm a life transition specialist. So I work with a lot of couples who are experiencing those changes in life, be it looking to get married, having a baby, experiencing empty nest, retirement, and ultimately grief. All right. So why do we need to calm the storm? As I kind of hinted, that storm, it happens when we're in relationships. It happens when we're in those big conflicts with our partner. So let's take a quick look at the anatomy of a fight. Step one, be hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Halt. Right there is a big clue that nothing good is going to happen when we interact with our partner. All right, step two, devalue yourself or your partner's needs, wants, values, etc. Step three, begin that full-blown battle with one or more of your triggers to your partner, and they in turn activate your triggers. For extra spiciness, we may bring along criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. All of which, as Doctors John and Julie Gottman have shown, give us a 4% chance of having those needs, values, wants accepted and understood by our partner. So, step 4, when we're feeling criticized, contempt, getting defensive, stonewalling, pulling out every mean possible thing we possibly can, when we are in the heart of the storm, we get flooded. We shut down, we withdraw. So, what is flooding? Emotional flooding is a physiological response when we are overly aroused by physical and emotional sensations. We experience too many emotions. In a conflict, we experience anger, frustration, sadness, feeling unheard, feeling unloved, all of those big, heavy things that answer to our core beliefs. Our body goes into shutdown to reduce this overwhelm because it can only hold so much capacity. Uh, so we shut down to reduce this overwhelm. Physiological flooding can look like oscillating between feelings, mentally withdrawing, or, as I just mentioned, kind of going to that fight or flight reaction. Symptoms of emotional flooding, increased heart rate. And when I'm in sessions with my client, I encourage them to use a little pulse oximeter that kind of tells us. For clients with a pretty average heart rate, we look at the heart rate above 100 beats per minute. For those marathon runners out there who have those super low regular heart rates, maybe even 80 or 90. The point is when your heart rate starts going up, when you can just feel the tenseness coming in your body, you have shallow and quick breathing, you're having a hard time focusing. Sometimes you can feel yourself start to disassociate, to pull away. You get the negative self-talk. You're not good enough. You're not lovable. It answers to you all of those worst things that your mean inner critic says. You want to escape. Again, that disassociation. You feel anxious. You feel overwhelmed. You get that upset, awful feeling in your stomach. And those thoughts, they just race. Those are all symptoms of emotional flooding. That is the storm, the first one. And how does the emotional flooding show up? We feel fear. We feel overwhelmed. We get the emotional reactivity. We may scream. We may yell. We may fight. We may cry. We feel emotionally numb. We feel disconnected from our partners, from our others, sometimes even from ourselves. And we get panic. We don't like this. It doesn't feel good. Not at all. Fighting to the point of flooding doesn't work, does it? When we fight like this, we are left feeling angry, helpless, disconnected from our partners, and nothing gets solved. It is at this point that I see so many couples destroy the trust they have built and worked so hard to get to. And it doesn't work. And we know we need to stop. And it's in recognizing those symptoms of flooding before we get to this point that we really need to focus on. Knowing, oh, my pulse is starting to go up. Oh, I'm starting to have shallow breathing. Oh, I'm starting. And noticing, I need to stop now. So we go back to that anatomy of a fight. We go to step 4. And instead of step 4, getting flooded, shut downing, and withdrawing, we do a new step. We recognize that we are flooded and we call for the timeout. What does a timeout look like? According to doctors John and Julie Gottman, calling for the timeout when you start to feel flooded, when you start to notice you're dysregulated, call for it. Take the break to regulate and finish the conversation when you're calmer. They recommend stopping the conflict for at least 20 minutes, for at maximum 24 hours. And the biggest, most important piece of this is to tell your partner, not just walk away. That looks too much like stonewalling, but to turn to them and say, whoa, we got a time out here. I need that time out. Give your partner a time estimate on when you'll be back. I promise you, I will be back in 20 minutes, an hour, 45 minutes, tomorrow morning. Give them the time. And then, because this is the most important piece, show up. Give yourself the space to calm down and return to the difficult discussion. Why take that time out? In heated disagreements, emotions hijack our communication. Timeouts interrupt our cycle and keep us from saying the things we don't mean, retaliating, escalating tension, destroying trust, and they create a safe space for us to self-regulate before we re-engage. So that instead of pulling out the big mean words that we didn't mean to say, we can go, oh, honey, I'm sorry. Beyond, and be ready to go. Be ready to repair and to re-engage. What timeouts are not. They're not avoidance. We're not trying to get away from the situation. We're not trying to get away from the conversation. We know that if it's important to our partner, it becomes important to us. They're not punishment. They are recognizing that we are feeling the storm inside us, and that if we continue, the storm is going to overwhelm us and we are going to become unsafe to one another. They should never be used as punishment. And they are not for rehearsing grievances or escalating and stroking our anger. They are for relaxing. They are for calming ourselves down. They are for pulling every single coping and calming tool that we have out that brings us the peace so that we can move forwards. They are not, ooh, that mean, you know, insert swear word, they're going to get it and feeling that they are truly to find this space so that we can let go and become rational. Okay. So then we go to step 5. Recognize it. Well, we'll go back to step 4. So when you recognize you're flooded and call that time out, then it is time to usher in those coping mechanisms that calm that storm. All right. So who needs to calm down? Both partners. And it is in this part during the timeout that we also need to use our coping mechanisms. So we need to use them for calm the fight. The timeout becomes the calming mechanism for the fight. And then we need to calm down when we are taking the time out. So I'm stressed. So I'm taking a break. I'm not feeling better. I'm stressed. Yeah. You know what? I'll be the first to tell you. Taking a break is hard, but you and your partner are worth it. It's hard because the person one partner is inevitably going to get anxious. One partner is inevitably going to want to finish that conflict now. And one partner is almost inevitably going to need to process it and need the distance and the space in order to do that. And again, taking the break and learning the tools you need to self-soothe both of you. That's why we do this. So, what can I do to calm the storm, or you do to calm the storm? Do something that distracts you. Clean, dance, take a walk, read a book, take a bath, take a shower, all fabulous distractions. Listen to music. Nothing like a little Alanis Morissette therapy at my age. And I'm sure for younger or older, there is their own get really angry song and then move it down to some, maybe some Andra, what her name is, Rise Up, some good music to just really ground you. Do some mindfulness exercises. This is one of my personal favorites. Do a body scan, do a guided meditation, use visualizations, etc. So for today, I am pulled out one of my absolutely favorite grounding exercises. This is called 5 4 3 2 1, and I encourage you to pull this one not just when you're feeling really stressed out during conflict. 5 4 3 2 1 is a fabulous exercise whenever you need to be very present focused. Um, I know some clients who use it during panic attacks, and it works really well. It works well in so many instances. So in this case, it's very simple. It takes your five senses and recognizing your current surroundings. It doesn't taking the five senses in here, you're going to see how it's five things I see, four things I can hear or whatever. And it doesn't have to be in that order. There is no magical order. The magical thing is whatever, just pulling in your senses. So it's a fast way to bring you out of intense emotions and into the present. It's a simple technique you can do to begin your calming. All right. So name five things you can see. Don't just think them in your head. Name them. I can see my lamp, my computer, our lovely audience. I can see pencils and pens. And the more you can describe those things, the more present you are. All right. Four things you can hear. Name them. In my case, it's pretty quiet in my basement, but I can hear the dishwasher running upstairs. Occasionally, I can hear the dogs. I can hear my voice. That's kind of it. This is a tricky one. But four things you can hear. Three things you can touch, and touch them. Touch the roughness of your desk. Touch the softness of your hair or the feeling of your shirt. Touch touch your cool computer. Touch the things in your immediate reach. Two things you can smell. Hopefully you're wearing good deodorant when you smell yourself, or if you have a candle or essential oils or your dog, your cat, your kid, whatever. And then lastly, one thing you can taste. And with me, I have a lovely glass of water. For clients that are in a panic attack, I find sometimes having a sour candy nearby can be really beneficial. But something you can taste, something again to ground you and to bring you into this present moment. More ways to self-soothe. Think of your favorites, your movies, your colors, your places, your animals, seasons, music. Get yourself some hot cocoa or coffee or your favorite beverage. Drink it slowly. Feel the warmth in your mouth, feeling the warmth of your cup in your hands, or the cool in this nice warm weather, the cool of a glass. Feel those things. Give yourself a regulating hug. Place your right hand across your heart and your palm and your body under your armpit. And then give yourself that hug. Give it a big, warming hug. Wrap yourself in a blanket. Sometimes a weighted blanket. Rock in the rocking chair. heat, whether it's from a heated blanket or from clothes fresh out of the dryer or anything. Just those sensations again. Get yourself in a warm shower, a bubble bath. Again, pulling in the senses of smell, playing soothing music. Get out into the sunshine. Feel the warmth of the sun on your face for 15 to 30 minutes. Apply a cool washcloth. Hold ice cubes in your hands. Get moving. Me personally, that's my favorite way to, it's one of my favorites is to get moving. I love to dance around my kitchen, and it doesn't matter if I dance well, I love to do it. And it soothes me and it calms me and it makes me feel good. All right. So, yes, okay. Remember, halt. Remember, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Take care of those needs. If they're a big part of what got you into the conflict in the first place, grab the snack. One that's high in protein is probably best. Sugar is going to make you go up and make you go down really fast. Drink the glass of water. As Snicker says, you're not you when you're hungry. Reflect on your mental status. Were you really upset with your partner or feeling more distressed from the day at work? So often we come into a discussion with our partners when we're already overwhelmed. And oftentimes it's not even because of our partner. Maybe it's traffic sucked or work was difficult or the kids were really noisy. There's so many things. And so recognizing that and being able to say, okay, I know that, so that when I go back and I talk to my partner, I can say, I am really sorry. I went into this conversation hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Reflect. Did you feel disconnected from your partner or others? And is that what triggered you? I see this one so incredibly often when we already feel disconnected from our partners. And then we, in our attempt to be vulnerable, if we don't feel like that vulnerability is being really listened to and heard, recognizing that we were feeling disconnected, showing ourselves that compassion and that accountability piece so that we can share that with our partners from a calm place. And finally, did you need a nap? We all know sleep is absolutely vital to our emotional and physical well-being. And sometimes that is the best thing we can do to soothe, is to take the good nap so that we are coming back to the conversation with a fresh set of eyes and all of the toxins in our brains have been released. All right. So, exercise. Before the next conflict with your partner, identify what makes you feel flooded. Is that those kind of those inner mindsets or inner core beliefs that I'm not understood, I'm alone, we're not a team? Are do those when we have those feeling or when we have instances in communication where those things come up, is that a trigger that is really setting us up to fail? Do I know that if my blood sugar is low, I'm going to be angry right out the gates? Identify those triggers, write them down, understand them, share them with your partner, understand theirs so that in the future you can know, hey, today's been a great day or today's been a bad day. I am starving. Can we have this big discussion after I've had a bite to eat? Identify 5 things that you can do to self-soothe. Know that you are going to feel flooded on occasion. You're human. You're having a human experience. What are the things that you love to do to self-soothe? Are you someone that likes to dance in the kitchen, or are you someone who loves to take a hot shower, go for a walk, give yourself a big hug? What is it you do? Then ask your partner, is there anything I can do that soothes you? When we see our partner start to go to this and we understand their triggers, can we say, "Hey, sweetie, have you eaten yet? Did you have a tough day? Is there something we can do?" And then with your partner, identify a signal to let each other know when you're feeling flooded. So oftentimes, this is a great one, just the timeout. Maybe it's not the verbal, I need a break. Sometimes when we are so close to the edge, a hand gesture, other than maybe a flip off, is the best that we got. So do that. Give yourselves permission to take the break, both of you. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Nope, not on that page. All right. And when the timeout is over, you'll be ready to repair and move forward with the conversation. And hopefully, over time and after giving yourselves timeout permission again and again and again, you won't need them so bad because you will be able to recognize when you're starting to get there, when you're starting to get into the storm. And you'll take the time out, or you'll know and be able to trust one another that you won't move to the four horsemen. You won't move to contempt. You won't move to defensiveness or criticism or stonewalling. All right. So just a really quick kind of recap of the cycle of mindful responding. So we have our triggering event. When we're in self-awareness, we can take the mindful pause. We can have the sensations and ask ourselves, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? Do I want to fix? Do I want to flight? Do I want to flee? And when we respond from an adult self instead of the old programmed self, when we say, you know what, maybe I need to take the break. Or maybe I want to fix this. Maybe I want to repair. Maybe I've already missaid something and I have time to repair. And when I can respond with that, then I release control of others' responses. I'm only responsible for me. And if myself says, hey, I got to take the break, you've got it, I'm giving it to me. I got to take the break. And that becomes my mindful choice. And I'm set to freedom. All right. So that concludes this relationship building hour. If you want to learn more about managing conflict and navigating relationship distress so that you can have the hard conversations with your partner, please feel free to call us or email us at Connected Couples Counseling. We work with both couples and individuals to help you transform your relationship challenges into deeper connection. All right.